Hi.
I can do it. All right.
Namaste. Jai Shri Krishna, everybody. Just, okay, we're just gonna, I hope you all have your prayers ready. We're gonna start off with the Vedic prayers that we have on the group. And for those of you who are just joining in, I'll replace them on the group, so then we can take it on from there. Okay. Right. You right? Okay.
I can't log in. It's okay. What's that? Oh.
Asato ma satgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityorma amritam gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sarvesham Swastir-bhavatu. Sarvesham Shantir-bhavatu. Sarvesham Purnam Bhavatu. Sarvesham Mangalam Bhavatu. Om Sahanavatu Sahanam Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahe Tejasvina Aditamastu Ma Vidvishavahe. Om Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwara Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Tvameva Mata Cha Pita Tvameva Bandhu Cha Sakha Tvameva Vidya Dravidam Tvameva Sarvam Mama Deva Deha. We'll start with a short prayer, a dhun, so that we can get the vibrations that we require in the current times. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. 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 Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Okay, I just want to share something with all of you regarding this coronavirus episode that's affected the whole world. And since we are on the subject of Veds and Upanishad, I thought I might share something very interesting with you. As you all know, I study astrology as well. The connection between this current virus and the predictions, many predictions have come around, and I'm sure all of you have observed uh, via various messages about the coronavirus predictions by astrologers. Now, Nostradamus a few years, a couple of 100 years ago, etc. However, I just wanted to point out something. In part of the Samhitas, the Narad Samhita, one of the verses in the Narad Samhita mentions this illness that was predicted. This is when the Vedas came across. Samhitas, as you are aware, is part of the Veds. And this particular Narad Samhita mentions in the way that during a particular constellation, the time, the transit of the moon and the lunar eclipse will take place. After that, there will be a major illness around the world, and it will affect everybody, literally. And that will take about 6 months to ward off. This is astrologically it placed that the transit of the planet would be when the moon enters Purnashad nakshatra. We had in around December, I did mention to people who are familiar with me, I did mention that this particular eclipse is going to affect not only particular rashis but the whole world. There's a major transit happening, and the effects of the eclipse normally are felt for about 6 months, in particular if it's a large one. And this one in particular states, the Puranas states that this will last for 6 months. And so if you count it from December, it will probably go up to end of May, before it's all, complete. And the effects will start lessening anyway. So this was just for your information. And since we are studying the appropriate subject, I thought it might be worth mentioning how important the Vedas are in our current lives. Okay, I'm not too sure how we're going to do this, but we have some homework, and the homework was on the subject of Om. Can anybody share the details of if you experienced the effects of Om and how? Does anybody want to write it or share through voice chat? so I can play it for everybody else.
They won't be able to hear me because if I go, you're
No. I'm here. Experiments with Om. Yes, that's right, Jayashri. I'm here with Geeta Ben, and she can share her experience. Here we go. That's the first person to share her homework. Okay.
Yeah, I think what I did while I was away, started doing Om about in the morning, and it helped me to calm myself down because with all these things going on when I was in India, it was like there a lot of uncertainty. So that helped me. So I used to do it every day for at least 3 times, 5 times, and it really helped me to calm down. So I think, and it gives you a complete start. If you're doing any meditation, then it helps also. Yeah, so I think I really enjoyed doing it, and I continue doing it every morning now. Yeah. Mm.
Anybody else would like to share their responses on that? Indu Didi mentions that I had mentioned that I think of Bhagwan, but no image comes in mind. That's fair enough. But did you experiment with the sound of Om? Okay, we'll wait for her response. Jayashri is responding with the sounds and chanting and yoga at home for cleansing. She's used it for vibrations experiments. And Jayashri, how did you feel about that? Okay, while we wait for Jayashri's response, we've got, I think, Minal. Hi, Minal. I can see you mentioned I have done this as part of Yoga and Spa Week. How was it? Okay. I can see your response, and you're saying it does help with the concentration. That's brilliant. That's brilliant. Okay. And Indu Didi says, no, she hasn't experimented. Okay, fair enough. Mm, but when she also states that when I do yoga, I start off with Om for a few minutes. That's brilliant. Does that help to create a calmness of some sort? Because just the sheer mention of Om brings in my experience a sudden calmness, and it just everything just like goes to a standstill. Jayashri says it's good and calms you as well. In yoga, always start with Om. Okay. Yes, thank you. Meenal says yes, it does help with the concentration. And okay. Indu they says it does start me off well. Has anybody? Okay. We got Rekha from Leicester here. Jai Shri Krishna. She says, I learned to say Om in separate letters as apparently it affects different parts of your bodies, and saying Om helps me get rid of any negativity. That's wonderful. Yes, Om is very very subtle yet so powerful, and all the letters of Om, as it's divided in three, A, U, and Ma. All the three letters have a specific meaning, and however, when put together, it creates a complete energy force around. Okay, so what we shall do is uh, we'll take it, we'll go back to Kathopanishad, uh, where we started last time, where we paused last time. It was around Om, and we'll proceed further. For those of you who aren't aware of Kathopanishad, I'll do another session so that, and maybe put it up so that if you need to catch up, you can do it via that. And in future, you know, you can have a continuation, if that's okay. Hmm. Right.
If I'm done at 9, it's 8:09.
Yeah.
So we'll be like,
Yeah.
but I managed to get in.
Okay, fine. That's fine. Okay. Right. Just bear with me a couple of minutes. Okay. Okay. Can you still see me? I can access that. Right. We were at the stage of the mystic word Om. Yamraj was, I'll just give you, this is a dialogue between Yamraj and Nachiketas in Kathopanishad. The mystic word Om. Yamraj said, the goal which all Vedas declare, which all disciplines proclaim, desiring which people live the religious life, I can only describe it in a single word, Om. This was Yamraj responding to Nachiketas and giving him the eternal knowledge. Uttering the sacred syllable Om denotes the absolute Brahman, thinking of me constantly. One who abandons the body and departs thus reaches the supreme goal. That is been quoted from the Bhagavad-Gita. Bhagavan Sri Krishna gives this message to Arjun about the syllable Om. That's a direct reference from Gita. So you can see the importance of Om right from the Almighty. Om is also called Pranav. By the time of the Upanishads, is charged with the significance of the entire universe. The Hindu concept of the universe is threefold. The three sounds representing all the trifactors, the three attributes of Brahman, Sat, Chit, Anand. Sat meaning existence, Chit meaning consciousness, and Anand meaning bliss. The Trinity, that's another attribute, Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh. The space, you can say, the outer space, inner space, or transcendental. Time, you can take it as past, present, future. All the gunas, sattva, rajas, and tamas, and consciously waking, dream, and consciousness. These are the three attributes, and that is all encompassed in the word Om. This syllable Om is verily the individual self, This syllable indeed is the highest self. Knowing this very syllable, whatever anyone desires will indeed be his, is basically is one of the most powerful syllables. Just one syllable, and you can achieve anything. As I mentioned previously as well, when the NASA did the experiment by recording the sound in outer space, when it was very, very surprising for them when they got the recording, it was the powerful frequency and the sound Om. That was what was captured by NASA itself, and this is science. However, we all know it as Ved. Wherever one wishes to go, whether it be realization of the individual self, spiritual realization basically, or the supreme self, or meditation on the syllable Om, it will lead all to that particular place. Okay, the eternal self now. We're going to talk about Yamraj sharing this knowledge. The self is never born, nor does it die at any time. It did not originate from anything, and nothing originates from it. It is unborn, eternal, abiding, and primeval. It is not slain when the body is slain. That is the eternal self. The Jeev is never born, it never dies. Having been existent in the past, it will never cease to be in the future. Unborn, eternal, abiding, primeval. It is not slain when the body is slain. We are talking of the soul which is within each one of us, every living being. The self constitutes the inner essence of each individual. It is without a cause and changeless. When it knows itself as Sat, which is existent, Chit, which is conscious, and blissful, which is Anand, it ceases to identify itself as mind, body, and complex, confined and limited by name and form, Nama Rupa. It attains self realization and liberation. If the slayer thinks that he slays of the slain, that he is slain, both of them do not understand the self. It is neither the slays nor it is the slain. One who deems the self as a slayer and one who thinks of it as a slain, both are ignorant. For the self neither slays nor is it slain. So basically, is talking about the eternal nature of the soul. Through the root is directed at the self, it signifies causing the separation of the soul from the body, the jeev from the body, and not the destruction of the soul. Scriptural injunctions like, you shall not cause injury to beings, and a Brahmin shall not be killed, indicate acts which are forbidden because they cause separation of the soul from the body. Okay, now this is the answer to the question of Nachiketas about the mystery of death. The self is unborn, eternal, and death does not refer to it. So basically, Nachiketas was wondering about the mystery of life and death. Rather, he asked Yamraj as one of his boons to understand this mystery. Smaller than the small, greater than the great, the self is lodged in the heart of every creature. The unstriving one beholds it, freed from sorrow through the grace of Supreme Being, one realizes the greatness of the soul. That is the physical attribute of the soul. Is everybody okay so far? Is everybody okay? Right. Okay. Okay. Now, the contradictory characteristics of the self. If we're going into the details of the soul, I'm sitting, he moves far. Lying, he goes everywhere. Who, say myself, is fit to know the Dev who rejoices and rejoices not? By these contradictory predicates, the impossibility of conceiving Paramatma through the empirical determination is brought out. Meditating upon the Supreme Self, the all-pervading, which is bodiless among bodies, the stable among the transient, the wise one does not experience suffering.
The soul doesn't experience suffering.
Yeah, yeah. If we basically, the soul has no suffering. What we feel, pain, heat, cold, all the five senses that we are so used to as human beings, the soul has no feelings at all. It doesn't experience what we experience as a human body. Taste, sound, you know. So that's the basically the greater knowledge. Sometimes people say, when the prime example is we talk about when somebody passes on to another world, and obviously when it's somebody close to us, we miss them, and we're experiencing pain, missing them, and all that. However, the soul that has moved on, since they've left their body, they do not experience the same as we do, because they understand once they're out of the body, the attachment to the body, once the whole the kriya has been completed, and the 1 year for the departed soul has gone by, they do not see things the way we do. The Atma is there in a different body, and over here we think that oh, my mom must be missing this, my father must be missing this, or whoever, our friends, or relatives, whoever we think of. None of them feel any of that, because the soul has moved on from the body. So the vasanas or the wishes related to that body is all cremated. Yeah. The supreme being. Now we're talking about the super soul. Super soul is the Paramatma. We talk about the Atma, which is the soul, and then we have the Paramatma, who resides within us, each one of us, who is known as the supreme being. He cannot be attained by instruction, nor by intellectual power, nor even through much hearing. He is to be attained only by one whom he chooses. To such a one, he reveals his own nature. Like he did, he revealed his nature to Arjun in the Srimad Sri Bhagavad-Gita. This is a reference that can be attached to a philosophy of Pushti Marg. Pushti Marg is a devotional sect, and this is Sri Valbhacharya, Acharya Sri Valbhacharya ji has used Kathopanishad as one of the bases for the philosophy itself, whereby he's talking about, you know, where um, he can only be revealed by his own wish, and that is called grace. So the path of grace, Pushti Marg is the actual path of grace. So this was just for your information. This is connected to that Pushti Marg sect. As we move forward, okay. One who has not desisted from bad conduct, who is not restrained, nor one without concentration, nor even one whose mind is not still, can know this even though learned beyond compare. Basically, um, is resisting all those acts which are prohibited by Shastras. The eternal duty, the Sanatan Dharma, Sanatan Vedic Dharma, the eternal duty towards all creatures is the absence of malevolence towards them, in not to think bad of anybody in thought, deed, or word, and to practice compassion and charity towards them. So that's one of them. Cultivate self-restraint. Quieten the activities of the senses in pursuit of their respective objects. Decrease the hankering for gratification and consumption. Basically, not to have too many needs. I want this. Human beings have a tendency to seek for everything that they're attracted to. However, we have to try and control that. This is basically cultivating self-restraint means we have to quiet our mind. We can only do it ourselves, not by somebody else telling us. And by practicing, and that can be achieved by practicing dhyan or pratyahar, that is the referral of withdrawal of the mind in the stages of meditation. So meditation will basically help us in decreasing the hankering for the gratification of ourselves, seeking everything. The human being is like that. With illusionary maya, that we want everything that, yeah. And sometimes the greed comes about when there's too much of needs. You want this, that, whatever. So you just have to quieten that. No one can realize the truth without illumination, and no one can have illumination without a thorough cleansing of one's moral being. Yeah? Okay. Right. As long as we are indulgent in our vices, yeah, eat, drink, marry, this, that, whatever, right? As we talked about. And as long as we exhaust ourselves with hatred and ill will to others, this is one thing that, we mentioned earlier, that, you have to think positive and, limit the negativity towards any being. Yeah, but we have to try and do that. The classical division of a spiritual life into illumination and union gives the first place to ethical preparation. So basically, okay, grace is one thing. However, in order to attain the supreme stages, you have to, start preparing morally. You have to be, truthful and try and practice these vices by restraining certain activities in order to get to the basic stage of achieving that the Supreme's grace. So moral disorder prevents us from fixing our gaze on the Supreme. That's what the Dharma Shastra says, because we are so, the illusion of Maya, we tied into all forms of attachment to things and needs and anger and distortion. Yeah. Okay. Is everybody okay so far? Okay. Fine. Yeah. Yeah.
And you're awake.
Geeta Ben is asking, are you all awake? Geeta Ben is traveling in India time at the moment, I think, and it's past, midnight for her. Okay. I think there is a quotation from the Rig Veda, which talks about who truly knows who. Who meaning the gods came after the creation of the universe or before the universe? This is a question that comes about. And obviously, the question has been raised in the Rig Veda to illuminate the minds of the seekers, basically those who are seeking the Supreme Being. There would be this question: when this creation has arisen, and whether he founded it or not, he who in the highest heavens is its surveyor, he alone knows, perhaps, who created the creation. Sounds complex. However, we do know one thing. The question is answered by itself anyway, because the Vedas are considered to be imparted by the Almighty Himself, and the Guru Shishya discipline thereafter. Anyone lacking the qualifications mentioned in the verse cannot understand the nature of the Supreme. We are going to be addressing that in the Bhagavad-Gita itself, as we are doing the Bhagavad-Gita side by side. All these questions will be completely be answered and clear in the Bhagavad-Gita as we go along. So if in the meanwhile, if there's any questions, please, put them forward. Basically, in Brihad Upanishad, it says, even death is absorbed in the eternal. Basically, Yamraj. When there's dissolution, the final dissolution, when the end of pralay, or when pralay comes in, even death won't exist. So that will be absorbed in the eternal who has created the earth. Okay. Now we're going to talk about has anybody got any questions on this? You guys are aware of the metaphor of the self riding in the chariot, the image. on the chariot, the self, then the super soul, and the five senses, the five horses. Yeah. Perfect. Okay, so that's great. All the senses are linked by the reins of the mind. The chariot is it's sensitive, represents the vehicle of the body or the mind in which we as the self rides. And the super soul is Krishna. Yeah. The same symbolism is, delivered in the Bhagavad-Gita, which is the highest teaching in a chariot by Lord Shri Krishna. Para Brahma Paramatma Shri Krishna. Lord is a very, it's not the right appropriate word for God or for the Almighty. Almighty is even better. Lord is the inferior word to address the Supreme Being. So we shall not call him Lord, we shall say the Almighty. Yeah. Okay. There is also the dualistic Sunken theory of evolution, but I will not go into details into that because there is talking about the ahankar, the manas, the five sensory organs of action, the five subtle elements, five gross elements, earth, fire, air, water, ether. I mean, it's going into right details of all that, the Purush dualistic Sankhya, and I think that's been addressed in details, but I think that will be addressed even in the Bhagavad-Gita. And if we go in that process, then you will understand it better. So, however, the process of yogic meditation by concentration and introversion is indicated in this part of the shlok. So we'll carry on. Yamraj, again addressing Nachiketas, he says, "Arise, awake, having obtained your boons, realize them." He asked for 3 boons, he got them all. And he said, "Sharp as the edge of razor and hard to cross, difficult to tread is that path. So all the sages declare." The path that Nachiketas was shown is very, very difficult indeed. As if we try and imply those things towards ourselves, think about the vices, the different things that we have to practice, it's very, very difficult to achieve. However, it takes yogic meditation that helps to achieve quite a few characteristics within the outlined summary. And otherwise, we just have to, focus on the other methods as taught in the Bhagavad Gita. But this was before the age of the Bhagavad Gita. Therefore, it's very, very important. However, the whole summary of the Upanishads is all contained in the Bhagavad Gita anyway. The what should I say? The rasatmak material. It's all in the Bhagavad-Gita. So when we take that, we're currently in the first chapter of Bhagavad-Gita. So when we move on to that, we should be able to understand that better. Yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Is everybody okay with that? Yes. I see. Indu Didi said, Almighty is English, correct. The actual title is Purna Purushottam Paramatma. That is the way it's described in Hindi. But for English, we shouldn't use Lord Krishna. We should say Almighty Sri Krishna. Yeah, but not Lord. No, Lord is. I've discussed this with Acharya Sri, and he doesn't. He says it's shouldn't use that word.
Because everybody's been using it like that.
Yeah, because the transliteration of Bhagavad Gita, they keep on using that word, and that's how it's come about. But is the Almighty Supreme, you can say Supreme Being, Sri Krishna. Purna. Okay, I've got a bit confused towards the end. Okay. Yes, that was going into details of the self and the characteristics and the different elements. So, however, it's all quite practically laid out and explained in the Bhagavad Gita, and we are currently on chapter 1 in Bhagavad Gita. So the process that's laid out thereafter to achieve the supreme, it's all in the Bhagavad Gita. Whatever Yamraj has conveyed to Nachiketas, he quite clearly stated that. Yes, Minal is saying Ved is summarized in Sri Gita ji. Is that what you're trying to say? Yes, the essence, no, Upanishads, the essence of Upanishads and a lot of the Ved is summarized very well by the Almighty Being Himself in Bhagavad Gita. Okay, saying I will read chapter 1, thanks. Okay, no, the whole of the Bhagavad Gita, there is, it's a lot of it, there will be to and fro to the Veds and the Upanishads that we're studying. But there is the next Upanishad that we're going to do is Ishavasya Upanishad. That is one of the most important Upanishads. And that will also have the nature, the characteristics of the Almighty, because it all starts off from there. Is everybody okay on that? Right. Yeah. Okay.
Can we just go back a little bit? Okay. If your question comes
Yeah. Yeah.
When you said soul, after a year, it leaves.
Yeah.
Then it is aware of the presence, or?
Yes, the 1 year. Okay. We got a question here, and the question is, for 1 year, the soul stays on her, well, is around us after they depart from the body. That's the question, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Now this detail of the soul, the journey of the soul, is quite complex, and most it's applicable to most of the souls. Most of the souls meaning people who have died natural deaths. Natural death meaning not the cause of death, however, timely deaths. Put it this way: when we are born, we come with a particular what time we are born. We come at a particular time, and when we do arrive on earth, our death is also stated at the same time. So there's no whatever happens in between, whether you live 100 years or you live 10 years or you live 50 years or whatever, it's all been laid down. Untimely death meaning if somebody is murdered, that is untimely death because it wasn't meant to be his time, and somebody took it upon them to do that. Okay, so the journey of a soul. So when I talk about the normal journey of a soul, I'm just going to address that to clear this question. The soul, according to the timings on earth and the timings on other logs, there is a difference in that. So when the soul leaves the body, it's attached to an astral body. Our body is then cremated or buried or whatever. That's the whole process, right? So whatever one believes in doesn't matter. But it's attached to an astral body for 1 year, and it sits on a plane called Pitrulok, or and it's basically it's a transitional plane. There's 7 planes above and 7 planes below. Depends where you end up, but either way. So whatever we do for the soul in that 1 year, we Hindus believe that you do Shraddh, um, do prayers for them, do charities in their name, whatever. The fruits of those things, is like added bonus to their, karma, and hence their journey thereafter will be calculated based on that. Each one of us has a journey, and our journeys are based on what karmas we do, really. So to clarify that, that's what happens for 1 year, Earth year. For the other logs, that's equivalent to about 24 to 48 hours, literally. So yeah, it's no more than that. Okay. So yeah. Anybody else have any question on this? Yeah, 1 year of Earth's time, Prithvi time.
So there it's only
Yeah, it's
48 hours.
48 hours or something like that. I've forgotten the exact period. Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. Yeah. Okay. Right. I hope you 48 hours. Oh, okay. 1 year Earth time equivalent to the period on the upper logs.
I think it was mentioned like 1 day for 2 hours or something.
Yeah,
Something like that.
I've currently forgotten off my head. I'll look that up for next time. And yeah, so one earthly year is equivalent to approximate 48 hours for the departed soul and those logs, those planes. Is that clear? 48 hours. Okay. Right. We Bhagavad-Gita. We'll move on to the Bhagavad-Gita. Has everybody got their Bhagavad-Gitas? Um, what planes? Okay, that's the plane. Okay, that's another science itself. If I go into the details of the journey of the soul, I could take you that we are on Earth. This is first slope. We have 7 other planes and other universes around, and we have 7 below, 6 below. We are the 7th. Yeah, 6 below as well. That goes towards Patal, etc. I will share that with you guys on the group chat of Vedic wisdom. I will share that those loks with you just for your information. Yeah, the different planes, the different loks. How they say it is lokas, but it's actually different loks. Yeah. Yes, yes, Mina. Chaud Bhuvan. Yes, absolutely. Okay. So, okay, wonderful. Uh, right. Bhagavad Gita time, and we are on chapter 1, text 30. I think, no, we did chapter 1, text 30, we did last time. And we are now going to touch chapter 1, text 31. Is everybody okay with that? Please say it, yeah, so that, as for yourselves as well, it will become like the shlokas of all the Bhagavad Gita, right? No, okay. Just 1 minute, bear with me. Okay, yeah. The reason you have to say the shlok is because Shabda Brahma Ativartate. Okay? Go beyond the words, experience it. That's the Bhagavad Gita for all of us. Okay. Nacha Shreyo Nupashyami Hatva Swajanam Ahave Na Kankshe Vijayam Krishna Nacha Rajyam Sukhani Cha. I do not see how any good can come from killing my own kinsmen in this battle, nor can I, dear Krishna, desire any subsequent victory, kingdom, or happiness. Arjun, still mortified with the thought of going into war with his own kinsmen, near and dear ones. And hence he's asking Krishna, how could I do this? Okay. Kim no rajyena govinda, kim bhoge jivitena va, yesham arthe kankshitam no rajyam bhoga sukhani cha. Ta ime vashtitha yudhe pranam tyaktatva dhanani cha acharya pitara putras tathaiva cha pitama. Matula Swasura Pautra Shala Sambandhinas Tatha Itanna Hantum Ichami Gnatopi Madhusudana Apitrailokya Rajyasya Heto Kimnu Mahikrute Nihatya Dhartarashtram Na Ka Pritasya Janardana. O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself, when all those for whom we may desire them are now arrayed on this battlefield. Arjun is really upset. If we have all these things, if we achieve the kingdom and everything, what use is it when our dear ones are not with us? O Madhusudan, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, father-in-laws, grandson, brother-in-law, and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them, even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of all living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them, even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? This is the lamentation of Arjun, and he just because he just can't seem to understand what he's going to achieve by killing his near and dear ones, apart from the properties which he feels he wouldn't enjoy. Actually, this if we take it into our lives, really, sometimes we walk over our near and dear ones sometimes to achieve something and get away with it. But if we think about it, do we really get the pleasure of anything that we've achieved that way? I don't know. It's a thought. And it might make more sense if we think about it, consider it. Okay, I think you guys are wondering, is the shlok that we went over was shlok 32 to 35. Yeah. Now we're going on to text 36. Yeah? Is everybody okay? Text 36. Papam eva shayed asma hatvaitan ata ta yena tasman narha vayam hantum धार्तराष्ट्रान् स बन्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः श्याम Madhava. Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the son of Dhritarashtra and our good friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi? And how could we be happy killing our own kinsmen? Arjun, very good character, obviously. Hence, Krishna supported Arjun. He is aware of the sins for killing others, and therefore he's raised that as a question. Being a warrior himself, a Kshatriya, it's quite interesting to note that considering he's a warrior, and yet he still has this inner consciousness of killing somebody. That's quite interesting to note because if you think about it, most warriors become mechanical and they, don't carry a consciousness as such.
I think in this sense it was a family that he was against.
Yeah, and he also mentions the good kinsmen. So no point, they were not only friends and family, they were also some good people because all the people who were invited to join and support I mean, some took the other side, but that doesn't mean all of them were bad. No, not really. Right? Okay. Okay. Text 37 to 38. यदापि एतेन पश्यन्ति लोभोपहत चेतस कुलक्षय कृतं दोषं मित्राद्रोहे च पातकम् कथं न नेयम् अस्माभिः पापात् अस्मा निवर्तितुम् कुलक्षय कृतं दोषं प्रपश्यभिर् Janardan. O Janardan, again addressing Krishna. Although these men, their hearts are overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? Arjuna is confident it's a sin and he feels shattered at the thought of even going through the process. Text 39. Kula shaye pranashyanti kula dharma sanatana dharme nashte kulam krishnam adharmo vibhavyati uta. With the destruction of dynasty, the eternal family tradition is vanquished, and thus the rest of the family becomes involved in irreligion. So, well, it's pretty evident. Uh, Obviously, the worries are just building up, and he's thinking of everything possible to bring as a impediment so that Krishna can advise him not to fight, like Bhishma and Shukracharya. What's that, like Bhishma and Shukracharya, Mina? Okay. Okay. The good men she's mentioning, like Bhishma Pitama and Shukracharya ji. Yeah. Okay. Yes, that's right. Okay. Right. Now, text 40. Adharma bhibhavat Krishna pradushyanti kulastriya strishu dushtashu varneya Varsneya Jayate Varna Sankara. When irreligion is prominent in the family, O Krishna, the women of the family become polluted, and from the degradation of womanhood, O descendant of Vrishni, comes unwanted progeny. Basically, it says good population in human society is the basic principle for peace, prosperity, and spiritual progress. The Varnashram religion's principles were so designed that the good population would prevail in the society for the general spiritual progress of state and community. Such population depends on chastity and faithfulness of its womanhood. As children are very prone to be misled, women are similarly very prone to degradation. Therefore, both children and women require protection by elder members of the family. By being engaged in various religious practice, women will not be misled into adultery. According to Chanakya Pandit, women are generally not, well, I don't think this is a fair purport, but we will will ignore that. We'll stick to the main subject. So, Varna ashram system. Varna ashram system, dharma naturally. Okay, basically, it's trying to say if we ignore the Varna ashram system laid out by the Sanatana Vedic Hindu Dharma. Okay, Varna ashram. It's the four ashram systems for that's been recommended. That is
if you're talking about the four things in our lives,
yeah, four stages
of our life.
Hindu Didi is not about the different castes. We're talking about the Varna ashram system, four stages.
Stages of our lives.
Mm.
First one is youth, and then
Yeah.
and then marriage, and then Buddha.
Yeah. Can anybody mention the four Varna ashram systems? Geeta is obviously trying hard to think about it. She's on the spot, but she's thinking of the. Hindu Didi is talking about Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras. Okay, no, we're not talking about the caste in the Didi. We're talking about the four stages prescribed by the Hindu Sanatana Vedic Hindu Dharma. That is childhood, then marriagehood, etc. Okay, what are they, Minna? Huh? Yeah, Vridashram. Yeah.
Vridashram is the last one.
Sannyas. Yeah. Okay, Minna, what are they? I think she's writing. Rekha, any input? Hmm? Hmm. Yeah, I don't. Jayashree? Okay, right. Yeah, I mean, what they have. Yeah. Okay, the four ashrams. Sannyas ashram is the last one. The first one is what are the name? Oh gosh.
We can check. I know.
Just bear with us. Okay, here we go. The four ashrams are Brahmacharya, Grahasthashram, Vanprastha ashram, and Sannyas ashram. Brahmacharya is when you're a student till a certain age. Yes, Rekha, that's right. PG is very complex. Sorry. What's that? Hindu Didi? Okay. Brahmacharya is very complex. Grahasthashram is when you get married and the activities of marital status, children, partner, etc. Vanaprastha, when you're retired. Ekavan, they say. That's that's actually that heads for sannyas. Originally they used to say when you're hit 50 and 51, that's it. You are heading into sannyas dharma. Basically, That's what it used to be. However, these days everything has changed. That's why society is in a mess, and that's clearly stated in the Bhagavad-Gita, as you can see. Right? Okay, so we move on to um, text 41. Right? Okay. Shankara Naraka Kayaiva Gita
Okay.
Shlok
Hmm.
Kula Gananam Kulasha cha Patanti Pitaro He Esham Lupta Pindo Da Kriya. An increase of unwanted population certainly causes hellish life both for the family and for those who destroy the family tradition. The ancestors of such corrupt families fall down because the performance for offering them food and water are entirely stopped. Very, very important point. This is extremely important. What he's talking about is what we are experiencing in this day and age, right? Shraddh. How many people perform Shraddh to their ancestors? Few. Maybe in India a bit more, but now it's changing in India as well. However, in other countries, extremely rare. And those who do that, they don't do it very, the actual, what shall I say, the way it's been prescribed, purely because we don't have the right guidance and also because we don't have the right facilities, etc. Whatever the reason, however, it can be done. I cannot rule out. But this is what this shlok is talking about. It creates hellish life because lots of population, people are living in their own lives and they so centered within their own activities that shroud and all that for the afterlife of people who are no longer here does not really matter. We will be talking about that particular bit that people do not, offering them food and water are entirely stopped. So that's what it is. I won't go into the details of Shraddh and all that. I could easily get carried away because it's my favorite subject because it's connected to astrology as well. What are the, if somebody asks me, how do you know if anybody's doing that or not? It's easily done via astrology charts. But that's another subject. Okay, let's move on. Text 42, right?
43.
Four, no, four, yeah. No. We did that. We did 41.
Are you 42?
Okay. 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 Dosher etai kula gananam varna shankara karakai utsadyante jati dharma kula dharmascha shashvata. By the evil deeds of those who destroy the family tradition and thus give rise to unwanted children, all kinds of community projects and family welfare activities are devastated. Community projects for the four orders of human society, combined with family welfare activities, as they are set forth by the institution of Sanatan Dharma or Varna Ashram Dharma, are designed to enable the human being to attain the ultimate salvation. So the four Dharma ashras that we talked about, and also it's also talking about mm um, all the different communities. If everybody followed the prescribed duties, then everything is in a balance and it would fall into the right order. However, the breaking of the Sanatan Dharma tradition by irresponsible leaders of society, as has happened in India, we know Congress and all sorts of um, corrupt leaders who have come in the past, and the invasion of the outside genre created the society into chaos, and consequently people forget the aim of life, and the aim of life is the ultimate salvation. Such leaders are called blind, and persons who follow such leaders are sure to be led into chaos. Yeah. Okay. The next text is 43. Utsana kula dharma nam manushyanam janardan narake niyatam vaso bhavatiti anushruma. O Krishna, maintainer of the people, I have heard by disciplic succession that those who destroy family traditions dwell always in hell. Yeah. It's just what we talked about, destroying the system of Varna Ashram uh, institution. One has to, before death, one has to undergo the process of atonement of his sinful activities. So, one who is always engaged in sinful activities must utilize the process called process of atonement, which is, prashchit. Without doing so, one surely will be transferred to the hellish planets to undergo miserable lives as the result of sinful activities. If we follow Sanatan Vedic Dharma, we also have a procurement of prashchit. If we follow that, then we can lessen our direct or indirect sins, as because we are full of sins as in general. Every step we sometimes do things unknowingly, sometimes knowingly, and nobody's aware of the complete scriptures or the laws of the complete scriptures. Therefore, we could be doing sometimes certain things that are not that are forbidden in the scriptures. However, there's also a path whereby we can, clear that. And we can talk about charity, we can talk about other, um, to help other people in times of need, etc. All these are good deeds that can balance the life in general. However, Prashchit is in particular for sins that have that we have engaged in knowingly, so that we have this route to take. Therefore, Sanatan Vedic Dharma is the most perfect Dharma. That's also part of this shlok. Okay. Is everybody okay? Indu Didi, what is off to the jungle? I told Indu Didi is talking about being off to the jungle. I don't understand. Minal says, I should be in Santa, but am nowhere near it. Oh, sorry, guys. Don't understand the last two.
Are they connecting to the sins or what?
Oh, sannyas. Okay. Okay, yes. Over 50. Yeah, we should all be in sannyas ashram. But
Wants to go to jungle.
yeah, she's off to the jungles, I suppose. It's in context to that. Okay, right.
They're off to Haridwar.
Okay, Indu Didi, let's start with the journey to Haridwar and Rishikesh. And, yeah, Raj, but no, oh, in that land, we're going to the first stage of Vaikunth. Mm. Indu Didi, welcome, yeah? But you see, the modern apparatus is going to help us. Helicopter will take us. Yeah. Okay. Anyway, text. We did 44. Aho bhata mahat papam kartum vyavasita vayam yad rajya sukha lobhena hantum swajanam udyata. Alas, how strange is it that we are preparing to commit greatly sinful acts, driven by desire to enjoy royal happiness. We are intent on killing our own kinsmen. This is amazing. Arjun is really, really now petrified, and he just can't control his emotions, and he's even forgetting who he's sharing this with. However, that's the whole idea of the Bhagavad Gita. Then Krishna comes in. But yes, it's true. He's very, very intelligent, and he's asking a perfectly valid question. Perfectly valid. Okay. Text 45. Yadi mam apratikaram ashastram shastra panaya धार्तराष्ट्र रणे हन्युस तन्मे क्षेमतरम भवे. Better for me if the sons of Drishtrashtra, weapons in hand, were to kill me unarmed and unresisting on the battlefield. He was happy to not kill them and not even to face them. He's happy to be killed without raising any of the weapons because he feels so guilty and so full of grief. Okay. Text 46. Sanjay Uvacha, meaning this is Sanjay now coming in. He's uh, sharing this. This is what he's telling Dhritarashtra. He's giving him the information, reporting to Dhritarashtra. Yeah, the one who is blind. Sanjay Uvacha Evam Uktvarjuna Sankhye Rathopashta Upavishat Vishrajya Sa Sharam Chapam Shoka Samvigna Manasaha. Sanjay said, Arjun, having thus spoken on the battlefield, cast aside his bow and arrows and sat down on the chariot, his mind overwhelmed with grief. While observing the situation of his enemy, Arjun stood up on the chariot, but he was so afflicted with lamentation that he sat down again, setting aside his bow and arrows. Such a kind and soft-hearted person in the devotional service of Sri Krishna is fit to receive self-knowledge. This is the very self-knowledge that they're mentioning that we heard Yamraj, Sri Yamraj, departing this knowledge to Nachiketas because he was very deserved. This was in the Katha Upanishad when we talked about Yamraj sharing that knowledge. And this is the exact knowledge that is talking about that Arjun is fit to receive that knowledge about the self. Because if he didn't receive that knowledge, then there is no way he's going to proceed in this journey of the Mahabharata. As he's put down his bows and arrows, immediately a reflection of defeat. And there ends the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Arjun Vishad Yog. That is what is called in Hindi. And I would like you all, as homework of this first chapter to share what you have picked up in the first chapter from your perspective. What is the important message that you've gathered in the first chapter of Bhagavad-Gita? Minal says cowardice or guilty, kind of. You're trying to find out whether he was a coward or guilty. No, Arjun was a very, very well-known, good warrior. He was one of the best warriors. And the Gandhi bow, the bow that he had, was gifted to him from Indra, that is Devo ke Dev, Indra. So he wasn't an ordinary warrior that he would feel defeated in a war. He would feel that I can't face this. He's not a coward at all. No, definitely not. What the he was a good person of a good character, and hence his characteristics is coming out in this way. And he was very emotional and attached to his near and dear ones, Bhishma Pitama, and whatever. His sanskar, his upbringing was very crucial in this. And the way he was brought up and his sanskar, that is why he is, okay, that's why he's the way he is. Okay, you're saying, Minal is also saying, Indra is Arjun's father? No, 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 Indra is not Arjun's father. He's the son of Pandu. Yeah. And so, yeah, homework is there. The other question I had, is everybody okay if we do it in 2 weeks' time, the next session? Because everybody's, I think, kind of home. And if everybody's okay, can I have your responses from all of you? Would they like to do it during the day or while they're at home? Okay. Geeta Ben is asking, would you like to do it when you're at home? Currently, everybody's at home. Okay, 2 weeks is fine. The homework, Jayashree is asking, the homework is the first chapter of Bhagavad Gita. Summarize what you feel you've understood in the first chapter. Yeah, 2 weeks is great. Okay, good. Okay, we'll put that in the group on the day, and the time will be similar. Is that okay with everybody? Or do you want it in the daytime? Because daytime, I think people are going about, well, you're not going about at this very moment, but however, if you want to stick to this time is fine. Yeah? Okay. 2 weeks yeah. Time is about, if you're looking at Friday, yeah, Friday, 2 weeks, Friday. So if you're looking at, then it will be a 4th of April. Okay, is 4th of April okay with everybody? No, sorry, 3rd of April. Sorry, 3rd of April. Geeta Ben is saying 3rd of April. Is that okay with everybody? Do they want to meet or we want to wait? Okay, we will decide whether we do it this way or meet up. However, whatever we do, we're going to carry on with live as well, because there are people who want to be part of this, and we will keep it open, right? Because I think yeah, if you're doing like that, is there not anything where they can also do? Yeah, and in the meantime, I'm going to look for a I've got an app that we all need to maybe download. We'll try it early on. When I send the details to you, please try and download so that we can all see each other, and you guys can talk as well. And that might be a better app. I'm aware of it, but let's see. But we'll have this as well. Skype, has limitations. It won't match our. Yeah, Zoom could possibly do it. Yeah, Zoom could possibly do it. There's another one, Just Connect as well. But before we do that, um, okay, right. We'll decide on that. In the meantime, can we do the last prayers, the closing prayers? Om Purnamadaha Purnamidam Purnat Purnam Mudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Shishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Shri Krishna. Jai Shri Krishna. Guys, Jai Shri Krishna to all of you. Good night and Shubh Ratri, I should say. Shubh Ratri. Namaste. Please kindly like this video, as most people say, and share it. Thank you.